Everson, who is from the Governor's Office of Workforce Development, is coming here, I imagine along with our dear sister, Teresa Chappelle. I remember her many years ago in my little humble church. She would come in with her husband. Sometimes they was, as they are, they used to come into the church and I thought they were courting. Like two little lovebirds coming and sitting in the congregation. Never have forgotten that. And so we're thankful that she's here. Let's give Mr. Melvin Everson, and as his party comes forward, the Governor's Office of Workforce Development, let's give them a big hand as they come to the church.
Thank you, President Cobble, and all of you that are here. Good morning. Good morning. I tell you what, before I leave, I'm going to find out where this man's church is. I'm going there. See who it is. As he stated before, I'm Melvin Everson, the Executive Director of Governor's Office of Workforce Development, part of the Deal Administration, the new governor for the state of Georgia. And I also want to take this point of privilege to introduce one of my deputy directors, and I think you all are very familiar with her, Ms. Teresa Chappelle, who joined our office.
As always.
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, we were so delighted to have her as part of our staff here at the governor's office. And her husband and I were very good friends, and I know Bill spoke very affectionately about the concerned black clergy here many, many times in our conversations. I am an associate pastor at Salem Missionary Baptist Church in Lilburn, Georgia, pastored by the Reverend Dr. Richard Benjamin Haynes. And I tell people that's the small Salem. We only have about 5,000 members over there in Lilburn. So we're doing God's work over there as well. But I'm here today on behalf of the Governor's Office of Workforce Development, and I'm so thankful and honored that you invited me here, because this is an initiative that I told the governor when we had our first meeting. He told me to be creative and think outside of the box. And I told him I was going to take this initiative and present it to whomever is willing to listen, because this is great for our community and the people of Georgia. Before I make my presentation, I'd like to give you a little background about Melvin, who this guy is that stands before you, so you will have a better understanding of who's making this presentation. And I know I'm time constraints here, and I'll do it in a very fast manner. I'm originally from South Georgia. Grew up on a family farm. My dad had a 5th grade education. World War II veteran. I'm glad to see Brother Sidney Atkins over here, who he and I grew up together down in Rochelle, Georgia, Wilcox County.
Runaway slave.
The 7th of 10 children. It's 8 of us still alive now. I have 2 sisters and 5 brothers, so it's 8 of us. Even though my father was a farmer, we worked hard. Growing up in the 60s, and I was born in 1957. Grew up in the 60s. Martin Luther King's first march was 60 miles from where I grew up to desegregate the library in Albany, Georgia. I remember that. I remember the crosses. I remember all of that. As we picked cotton, whole cotton, watermelon, cantaloupe, the whole 9 yards. Got up early in the morning because my father had a contract with the local school cafeteria to pull turnip greens, collard greens, put on the back of his pickup truck so he could take them down there for the lunchroom staff to prepare for lunch. One thing my father wanted to make sure, all of his children completed high school. He said, I want you to have a better life than me. So all of us did. And one thing you were guaranteed on graduation day from high school from my father, after we had the ceremony, you walked across the stage, you got your diploma, you went back home, you were going to get a gift from my father. That's it. You were going to get a set of Samsonite luggage. You were leaving. You were going on to college, and we had one technical school at that point, a trade school in Ben Hill, Fitzgerald, Georgia. You want to go on to there, or for your traditional institution. I received my BS degree in criminology from Albany State University. Just to give you a quick rundown of my family. My older brother Marvin, Tuskegee University, Vietnam veteran, retired now. My older sister Willa, Fort Valley State University. She is manager with Florida Bureau of Revenue. My second brother Henry, Savannah State University, University of Tennessee, and a master's in public administration, and he's an electrical engineer with Georgia Power Company down in South Georgia. My second sister Vivian, BS degree in nursing, Albany State University, master's degree in nursing. Now she's a professor in nursing at Macon State College. My older brother James, Ben Hill Urban Tech. He owns his own mobile mechanic business out in Clarkston, Georgia. Yours truly, BS degree in criminology, Albany State University. And my younger brother David, Georgia Southwestern in Americas, business administration. He and his wife are partners with a real estate firm out in Covington, Georgia. All of that from a man that had a 5th grade education and a mother who made sure that when we came home every day, our homework was in order and they did not accept any excuses. Failure was not an option. They didn't want to hear it. Even back in the 60s, we had obstacles. But he said, every day you got up, God gave you a brand new opportunity to make your mark in this world and make your way. Go out and do it. I came to Atlanta in 1986, settling in Snellville, serving on the city council, vice mayor, and then I ran for Georgia State House of Representatives, getting elected in 2005, served there until Mr. Deal got elected governor of the state, and sitting in my office, and I was preparing to go to law school. And he said, Melvin, this is Nathan. Okay, I got it, don't want to pull it. And come work in my administration. I got you, we're going on. The Workforce Development Office. And I got involved with that, and I found out in traveling the state of Georgia, there are a couple of things that are happening in our communities. There are jobs available. But business leaders across this state are telling me that the workforce is not skilled for the jobs that are available. I was up in North Georgia, Shaw Enterprise, Copper Country, saying that they have 4,000 maintenance technicians that are getting ready to retire all across this state. They don't have enough individuals in the pipeline to replace those individuals. What we do as the Governor's Office of Workforce Development, we work with our partners, the technical colleges such as Atlanta Tech here in Metro Atlanta, and we assess the skill level of the workforce. This assessment is done by you're taking an assessment at the local college, the technical college, to see where your skill levels are. And Deputy Director Chappelle will pass out the brochure to give you more information about that. If you want to contact us later on, the information is there. It basically says that once you take the assessment, you are immediately given a score. You score bronze, silver, gold, or platinum. And that basically tells you where you are skill set wise. And from there, we would direct you to the resources that are available, known as gap training, to get you to the level that you need to be. Now, how does this benefit you as an applicant when you go to apply for a job? Many companies now request and require that work-ready certification. Georgia Power, certain positions in Georgia Power, they look for their work-ready certification. Atlanta Gas Light, certain positions in Atlanta Gas Light, they look for that work-ready certification. There are 900 plus businesses in Georgia that look for the work-ready certification when you go to apply for a job. Who's eligible to take the work-ready certification assessment? We start off with seniors in high school. It's voluntary, it's not mandatory. And the assessment is free. It is free. There is no charge. We basically want to see where the skill levels are and get you to the next level, because this economy is turning around. We lost a lot of jobs during the recession. But my biggest fear, and President Obama mentioned this in his State of the Union address, workforce development. The jobs that will become available in the 21st century to replace the jobs that we lost in this last recession will require a new set of dynamic skills. And it's our job to get those skill levels up within the workforce to make sure we can meet the demands of the jobs that will become available. Because the jobs are coming. Federal Express just cut the ribbon in Norcross, $14 million expansion. TSA is getting ready to hire. The jobs are there. They're coming. But we want to make sure that we have the workforce ready to take those jobs when they become available. Because I'll tell you what's going to happen if we don't have the workforce. They're going to move. They're going to go to North Carolina. They're going to go to Alabama. They're going to South Carolina. And I want Georgians to get those jobs. When those corporations decide to relocate or expand, I think Georgians should have those jobs. And that's why I promised the governor that I was going to crisscross this state in every community to take this message to Georgians that this is a tool in the toolbox that you can use to better assist yourself as far as gaining employment in this tough economic market that we're in. So, GeorgiaWorkReady.com is the address. Feel free to contact us for more information. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Calling for the questions for the workforce development. Calling for the question for workforce development. Raise your hands. 1, 2. When I call for the questions, raise your hand. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that order. Now once again, when I call 7, when I call for the question pertaining to work, but don't just sit there and say, I want to know if I'm going to ask a question. Raise your hands. And that's what we talk about so that we can do this thing in decency and in order. Question number 1, quickly.
Yes, sir.
Don't look behind you.
Okay. Coming to CVC, I'm aware of the fact that young black men can drop out of high school at 16 years old. So why do you have to be a senior? Because obviously they're not seniors to qualify, because they really need this training.
Thank you so much. That's a very good question, and you will see a movement to take it further down the ladder as far as the grade levels. Okay. So that's not etched in stone. Right now there's a movement to get it to the 11th grade, to 10th grade. But you're exactly right. That is a very good point there, and we have taken that under consideration.
Question number 2.
Yeah. In our circle of change, Atlanta used to have schools where kids could get this kind of information, kind of training. And we're moving back, and they call it something different. But what are we doing? I guess it relates to his question, to make certain this gets infused down.
Thank you. Another good question, and I think moving forward you will see a movement back to that. You're familiar with the term CTAEs, Career Technical Agriculture Engineering, basically known as comprehensive high school. There's a move back towards that because I use my family as an analogy to give you a sense of when we came through, we had shop, we had auto mechanic, we had home economics, we had all of that in public high school. So there's a move to go back to that because we are missing that piece of the puzzle when it comes to our K through 12 education system. So there is a movement to go back to that. Next question.
Question number 3.
As clergy, as organizational leaders, what can we do? Are there any specific things that we can do as far as assisting your department with this effort to train electeds?
That's a very good question. Take the message. Spread the story. Because so many people are not aware of this initiative out there. It is a great tool to have in the toolbox. So tell as many people as you can, direct them to the Governor's Office of Workforce Development website, GeorgiaWorkReady.com.
Question number 4.
I'm concerned with young people that's getting out of prison because of non-violent offense, and they have a felony, and what happens is they're still not able to get a job or anything because of the felony. What are you doing about that?
Thank you so much. In my first meeting with the governor, that's one of the things he pointed out to me, to come up and devise a plan to work with that population as they make that transition from incarceration back into society. And we have a great model down at Middle Georgia Technical College in Warner Robins, where the governor and I will be making a visit. I've already met with Brian Owens, Commissioner of Corrections, and we have a plan in place to work with those individuals simply because it's much better to have them as a taxpayer than a tax burden.
You got that right.
So we want to get them in the employment line as well. So we do have a plan for that. And that's a very good question, and thank you so much for that.
Question number 5.
Yes. A lot of the jobs that we see so-called have the look of immigrants, and there was an immigration bill that has kind of stalled. Is there any kind of protection that we see that immigrants that come into the country are not jumpstart over African Americans and the people that's in the community? And could you comment as far as maybe making sure that some of the jobs that were manufacturing jobs are not continued to be outsourced out of the country?
Well, thank you so much, and that is another good question. And I'm going to try to tie it up this way. We use what we call an E-Verify to make sure all the individuals that are receiving jobs are here legally to have those jobs, and that's in conjunction with the federal law. That's already a statute on the books. We just have to enforce it more. Secondly, as far as corporations leaving the shores of America going overseas, this is one of the reasons why they're leaving, because the workforce is not skilled up to where they need the workforce to be. In a lot of, not all cases, not all cases. Not all cases.
One of the things that I want to defute you on right here in front of the concerned black clergy, those corporations are lying. They're moving the jobs overseas because it's cheaper labor.
That's exactly what happened.
They're cheaper labor, so tell the governor, don't put that lie out. It's cheaper labor. That's the reason why they're moving the jobs from America to overseas. Number 6.
What was that email address?
GeorgiaWorkReady.com. And you notice I said that was one of the reasons, not all the reasons. I said one of the reasons.
Okay, number 7.
Okay. I'm glad to see Sister Chappelle there and to see that you're there, because I'm Gloria Chinubu. I just was elected to the General Assembly, and I met with the head of the Workforce Development, Georgia Work Ready, and to be honest, I was not impressed with the results over the past 3 years. They have thousands of people who've taken those exams. Only 100 or so businesses have signed up to use them, and none of them are required to use it, even though they get exempted a $2,000 fee for doing those job profiles that they do. So I'm happy to hear that you're here, but based on what I've seen over the past 3 years, it has not been very positive. Only about 20 people have been employed over the 20 years by these companies and using with these certificates. Now, I've talked to the person who heads this up, a little young white guy. I don't know his name, I don't remember his name, but I know who I spoke to, and I've looked at the numbers. So I'm happy to hear that you're here, and I hope that we can get better results moving forward.
Well, thank you so much, and I think that's one of the reasons why you have a new executive director in office.
Okay.
Okay, we appreciate the questions, but here's the thing. Number 1, take the message to the governor. Concerned black clergy is willing to sit at the table so that anything move or anything they want to move, Sister Chappelle, we want to sit at the table.
That's right.
Reason we want to be at the table, because it's been reported in USA Today as of last Friday that 60% of the companies, the corporations throughout the United States, it will include Georgia, are not hiring. And one of the tools that they're using is credit scores, credit reporting. So we want that stopped, because when the people consider the foreclosures, when they consider that they have lost jobs, when they consider that they just got out of prison, their credit score is not very high, and a lot of them are not going to be high. That's why we must be at the table. Brother Preacher from Narkakalaki, when the clergy get together in Georgia, and when the clergy get together in Atlanta, we make things move. And we're going to move more than they ever have thought we moved before, because we're tired of the system that's working against our people. That's why we want to take the message to the governor. Concerned black clergy, Brother Preacher, wants to be at the table, so when they make the decisions, we'll know how to make it work for our black community. And if he does that, then he can be assured that he might be re-elected for another term.
Thank y'all so much, and have a blessed day.
Ain't God all right?